Johnno, how you going, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Good,
Happy
man.
Easter to everybody.
Yeah, it was a good Easter, wasn't it? Apart from a certain incident that took place over the weekend.
It made the chucky eggs not taste so good on the end of Easter Monday, did it?
A little bit of sour to go with the sweet. It was a sour end to a sweet long weekend.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah. Oh, what went wrong? Like, where do we start? I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, as a Parramatta fan, we all know we've been through this before. It's the same shit. It's the same shit over and over and over and over. But I honestly thought we were beyond that now. I thought we were beyond not turning up. And I thought we were beyond being overconfident and taking another team and taking a win for granted and disrespecting another team like we did the Tigers. We didn't turn up to play them. We turned up to put on a show. It was we turned up to put on a show to the sold out crowd and to the old boys, and we forgot that there was a team fighting for their existence coming at us, and we did not respect that at all, and we paid big time.
I could not have put it better myself. You know, we started so well. I think we had, 2 or 3 line dropouts in a row. Yeah. And I wonder, had we cracked the line early, maybe even a couple of times, raced to a 12-0 lead, that maybe would have been enough to kickstart the party. But we didn't. And
what we had a team that is 0 from 5. If we had come out in the first 20 minutes and just blown them off the park, then we could have put on a show, because we would have cracked them. 20 minutes, if we had put even 2 tries on 12-0, they would have just gone, oh, we are getting thumped today. But no, we did the other thing. We started dropping the ball, and not, our possession was ridiculous, missing tackles everywhere. And then they got a few tries up, and all of a sudden we go into panic mode like we do so often and start throwing the ball around, start doing the short kick, the short dropouts. What was with that? How come all of a sudden we go into short kickoff mode? Like, the game is nowhere near over, and we're doing these silly little short kickoffs.
Yeah. It was panic. It was bizarre the way we played football. It was not to our standard or to the professionalism that I thought this club had.
Yeah.
Or had, but you wouldn't see Melbourne playing this way or Penrith playing this way.
No.
They don't lose. They can come out and have shit weeks.
Yeah.
And they have.
And they did against the Tigers as well. The Storm played shit against the Tigers, but they still managed to grind out a win.
They stuck to their processes. They didn't panic, and they won.
Yeah,
we didn't stick to our processes. We did uncharacteristic short dropouts and forcing passes that weren't on and missing tackles, and
was not only that, like, we had Gutho getting into the second row of the scrum. So the Tigers decided to push against us. Why wouldn't you? If we're not even respecting the scrum, we're sticking Gutho into the second row, they pushed and they got one against the feet. I mean, that could have been the game right there. I mean, that just speaks volumes to me.
Two incidents, the scrum push and Dane Laurie's chase, the kick chase on Clint Gutherson.
Yeah.
They were the only 2 players you had to look at.
Yeah.
To see the Tigers had fucking come to play and Parramatta had not.
Exactly. And I thought we were beyond it. I honestly did. I thought that we had enough experience in the team for them to just go back to the process, like you said. Let's just go back, hitting it up the middle, either get a return set. And we got a few return sets as well. Like, it wasn't even like we didn't. It was just like we had moments of individual brilliance. And, you don't win games like that. And then you got Reid kicking out on the full again, which is starting to become a habit for him. You've got, how many instances can we go through? Taking
Mitch Rain,
he came on with his fresh legs. In the presser, BA said, when he said, why did you take Reid off? He said, well, I had Mitch Rain and we brought on fresh legs. Fresh legs for someone else, maybe bring on some fresh legs for the prop. maybe bring on some fresh legs for the outside backs. Maybe, Mitch is good to go for 80 minutes. Sean Lane, maybe Sean needed some fresh legs,
Yeah.
But he brings on Mitch, he takes off Reed and then brings Reed back on with a minute and a half to go. I mean, can you disorientate the team? But it disorientates everyone. Everyone's just like, well, what's happening now? And not only that, like, it's not giving Mitch Rain a fair go, because Mitch comes on, he's like, shit, I've got to run through the middle. That's what I've been brought on to do. He wants fresh legs. And twice he's made breaks and twice he's dropped the ball because he's trying too hard. I mean, you see it all the time. It's like, okay, if you're in the, here's your chance, run through the gap, and he gets through. It's a nice break, but then he turns over the ball, and it's not even his fault. I don't know why Reed's coming off. I don't know why we didn't have like Wiramu Greg on the bench, another big forward coming through. Hayes Perham should have been started on the wing. I mean, we missed 2 tries because Will Penisini was not positioned correctly. Not his fault. He's not a winger. But a seasoned winger would have just eaten those up. I mean, he would have been positioned correctly. And I know that Hayes is more of a fullback and a pivot, but I think he's more experienced on the wing than Will is. I mean, Will's only played a handful of games as well. So we missed those. And then there was a few defensive reads on that wing as well that cost us points. And it was just a shit show from start to finish. It was just an absolute shit show.
Happy 75th birthday, Parramatta. Let's put on the most Parramatta performance we can and just not show up against a team that we should have put fucking 60 on. Like, what more motivation did we need? It's 75th anniversary. The old boys just gave you a guard of honor. It's Easter Monday. Combank Stadium's full. Full.
28,000. I think
as close to full as you can get.
I think they wanted to put on a show. I think that they were just thought, okay, we're the flashy team. We're going to put on all this flash. They just forgot. They completely disrespected Tigers. Tigers were, if they lost that game, if they got a hiding to nothing in that game, heads were rolling, Madge probably would have got fired, so they're playing for their careers. They're playing for their coach. Not only that, they came in with the trick shot, switching Luke Brooks around to pivot and Jackson Hastings to 7. We needed to stomp that out straight away. We needed the first 20 minutes, just run it at Jackson Hastings and just smash him and just break down this new combo. What did we do? We gave fuel to the fire, and they went, oh, hang on, this little trick shot's going to work. And their whole team bought in on it, that Jackson's going to lead us to victory. And sure enough, he does. So
he did.
Yeah. He played well, and Luke Brooks played well. And, but they didn't play outstanding. They made the most of their opportunities. Every time they came down to our half, they scored points. Like, our defense is shithouse. Like, I don't know what's going on with our defense. They didn't do anything amazing. They just did some stock plays, and they end up winning the game. And, Mitch did have a chance to convert his penalty. He did have a chance for the field goal. I mean, there was, James Talmel was lying in the ruck, should have been a penalty. We had a head-high tackle as well, which should have been a penalty on Simonson, I think it was. But you can't even, we got the rub of the green. We got the penalty count. We got the 6 again.
We did.
We got the rub of the green in that match. You can't even blame the ref. There was a few that he missed, but he definitely gave us more than he took. And there was some there that were a bit dodgy in our favour. So you can't even, cry foul for that. And at the end of the day, it was 2020. They snatched the field goal at the end, but they did it,
They snatched a field goal at the end because we don't know how to set for a field goal.
Yeah.
It's the second time we did it. It happened against the Sharks. Don't do it.
Yeah.
We could have done it against Melbourne. We should have done it against Cronulla.
Yeah.
And we've done it against the Tigers. We didn't get away with it against the Sharks.
No.
And we didn't get away with it against the Tigers.
No.
And we just got away with it, but it cost Ray Stone the season against Melbourne. And they're not long-range attempts. We were 25 out.
Yeah.
And
when we were there,
left.
When we went to the St. George game, we saw Mitch practicing his field goals before kickoff. and he was missing them all just to the right. Like there's something going on. I don't know. Every single one that he attempted went just to the right of the post. And then you look, like you said, with the Storm game, he hit the post, the conversion, the drop goal that he missed on the weekend or yesterday, missed to the right. I mean, something in the setup is not going correctly. So it might have been better to have Mitch Rain on for that setup. I mean, why? I don't understand why you put, if you're going to pull Reed out of the game, you pull him out of the game. Don't just pull him for 15 and then throw him back in with a minute and a half to go. Because Reed's not, it's going to take him a while to get back into the rhythm of the game. I don't think BA understands rhythm. I don't think he understands that if you move a centre to the wing and if you move the wing to the fullback and you move the fullback to the forwards, I mean, and then you stick someone on the bench and don't play him, it's very confusing for these footballers.
Yeah, you break the flow. If Reed Marnie's off, Reed Marnie and Mitch Rain are two completely different players in the way they play the game.
100%.
So you're not going to get, Mitch Rain will give you a good ball to the chest.
Yeah.
But he's not as dynamic as Reed. And maybe there's a play that warrants a dynamic play from dummy half that gets Gutho and Mitchy Moses and Dillbags all pushing up at once that Mitch probably can't execute as well as Reed could.
Yeah.
And then you pull him off 15 minutes later and you put Reed back on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what was the point of the interchange in the first place? Like, do you want him on or do you want him off?
Fresh legs is what he said. He said fresh legs. Now, there's no way. I know that Reed has a big workload, but he's a 22, 23-year-old kid who's super fit. He can play 80. There were other guys out there who were struggling. I mean, if you want fresh legs, bring out fresh legs. But he's obviously told Mitch Rain, I want you to skirt from dummy half with your fresh legs. And it's not his natural game. And that's why twice when he's done it, he's been hit and dropped the ball. It's not his natural game.
He's not a ball runner. He's not. That's something Reed does.
Exactly. He's got really good delivery. And I think Mitch will be good if Reed's out injured. So he's good to be there, for that. But you can't just throw him in and say, go and win us the game. It's just insane. Like it's I don't know why. And then he brings Hayes Perham in the last minute because Tom Opchek gets injured. Sticks him on the wing, and he did all right. But once again, you give him like 10 minutes. I mean, what can you do in 10 minutes? I mean, I don't. How many times have you been watching a football, and a team starts getting some momentum, and you're like, okay, they score once, and then in 3 minutes they score again, and in 3 minutes they score again. It's like they get the momentum, and it's like, shit. How do you break momentum? I'll tell you how you break momentum. You get your number 9 and pull him out of the game. I mean, BA does. He's the best at breaking momentum for another team. Like we started to get a roll on. Like, if you're watching back in the day, State of Origin, how many times did Cameron Smith get pulled off with 15 minutes to go so that fresh legs could come on? It doesn't happen.
Never.
And
Reed, you don't break your spine up.
You don't do it. And
your entire spine should be an 80-minute column.
You just don't do it.
It's not that difficult.
I don't understand. Like you don't see Harry Grant getting pulled off. You don't.
I've tried to defend. I've defended Brad a lot. I really have.
I like him, but goddamn, he makes stupid mistakes. Like it's.
And now we're here, getting up him, and now there's the rumor that Gutho called him an idiot after the game.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like, well, maybe he did because in an indirect way, we're calling him an idiot right now. I think.
Look, generally where there's smoke, there's fire. I know that comment came from a joke Twitter account, but it seemed to be a weird thing for a joke. Even for a joke, it wasn't a joke. Like, it was just like, why would you say that he called him an idiot? I mean, I'm sure it's all bullshit. I can't see Gutho doing that, but if he's completely frustrated and
I think he'd be frustrated, yeah.
Well, he looked pretty frustrated during the game. You could see it. And I don't think he would go as far as to call BA an idiot, but he might be thinking it. And that's, if he has, I mean, that's not good. I mean, we don't need them to be, fighting at the top, but insane. Anyway, mate, we'll move on to this week's team list because moving forward, everyone's saying, well, that was a speed hump. Now we're moving forward. And straight away, we're into danger territory moving into this next game up against Newcastle. I mean,
Exactly.
Newcastle, they are, geez, we have a habit of playing teams into form, and Newcastle are just ripe to get played into form.
Yep.
They had a loss.
There's 4 losses in a row. Yeah, 4 losses in a row.
Yep.
This Kalen Ponga story is not going away.
No, and then Kalen's going to be wanting to
pressure.
Yep, and they're going to be wanting to have a big game to prove the critics wrong. Kalen's going to have a big game to prove the critics wrong.
And they're at home.
And
where this is happening again, it's Groundhog Day, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go through the team because I think you know the point that I want to get to. I'll have a quick look. Number 1 is Clint Gutherson, still going at fullback, captain, courageous. Number 2, Hayes Perham, finally gets the start at winger, which is what we were calling for last week. Anyway, Will Penasini, number 3, will back to his preferred spot. Tom Opacek at 4, his neck is apparently good, but that's just with 1 day, so we'll have to watch the space with him. Bailey Simonson at 5, Dylan Brown at 6, Mitchell Moses at 7. RCG is apparently good to go, so the ankle, once again, we'll have to wait and see, but he has been named at 8. Reed Marnie, number 9. 10, Junior Paulo is back. 11, Sean Lane. 12, Isaiah Papali'i. 13, Nathan Brown. Then we go to the interchange bench. We have Maka 14, Ryan Madison 15, Oregon Kafusi at 16, and at number 17 we have, drum roll please, Jake Carter.
Fuck. Why?
Why is he there? He can only play halfback.
Mitch Moses isn't hurt. Dylan Brown is not hurt.
No.
Why is the specialist half on our bench?
Well, what does that tell us? I mean, what happened last time? Last time, basically, Jake went to 7, Mitch went to 6, Dillbags went to 3.
Yeah.
And Dillbags is like in prime form. He's just hot.
Yeah.
Why stick him out in the centres? And you know that he's going to do this because it's the only position that Jake can play. Unless Jake's going to come in, he's going to replace Reed at the 60-minute mark because we need fresh legs, remember? Fresh legs at the 60-minute mark because Reed Marnie can't play 80 minutes of football, but apparently Sean Lane can. So Sean's like 110 kilos, and but apparently he can play 80 minutes, but Reed gets tired. We need fresh legs. So Jake's going to come on as a hooker? Is that the plan?
I don't know. There's reeks of nepotism now.
I hate to say it, but
and he hasn't played any football since he got his appendix out.
He played last week. He played last week.
Did he play cup?
He did play cup, and he played quite well at halfback. Now, what he did well, I watched the highlights at New South Wales Cup. He was really good at delivering it out to the wing. He had a couple of good passes, not enough to get you onto the bench. Now, if the plan is to get him on and give Reed fresh legs, bring Mitch Rain on again. I mean, Rich, if that's the plan, if you want to bring fresh legs on, bring another hooker in, or bring the other guy, the Brendan Hands guy in.
Yeah.
Bring Bryce
Cartwright in. He's got size.
Bryce Cartwright.
Bryce at least has size to handle himself.
He's obviously never playing for us again. There's obviously something going on there that he has.
I hate that.
I read a funny comment on Facebook. It said, has Bryce Cartwright taken a shit in Big A's office or something? There's some reason why he just won't put him in the team.
I love Bryce Cartwright.
Cartwright.
He's an X factor.
You would buy him
no secret that
just as a utility. You would buy him
yes,
just because he covers so many positions. So we've got him in
Yes.
our team, and we're not putting him on the bench when we need someone to cover multiple positions.
Bryce Cartwright was my 2022 replacement for Will Smith.
100%.
He
Will could
was our
come on and
14.
play.
He was our
Yes.
utility.
Yep. And he was a little bit bigger. So he can cover
Yep.
like some of the forward roles, maybe. Like he can
Yep.
cover some of the bigger roles, whereas Will would basically just, cover the halves and the fullback. But he would bring that energy that he does, and Bryce does the same. But Jake doesn't do that. You're just hurting the kid. You're hurting him because Parramatta's starting to hate on Jake, and it's not fair to him.
We're starting to hate him.
And he's only played one game, to my knowledge. It was only because I watched the highlights and I saw him play, and I went, "Oh shit, he did actually play." So he's had one game back, and he's straight into first grade. Like, whereas you've got the other guys who have been training all the way through. Bryce Cartwright training every week. So you're gonna sit him on the bench? Like, is he going to sit out the game? Is he going to come on and play 1 minute?
It's going to be a close game as well. I think, this isn't going to be a blowout. Like, this is Newcastle in Newcastle, just as desperate as we just saw the West Tigers were.
100%.
We're not going to have a 20-point buffer to just bring Jake on for shits and gigs.
No,
we're not. It's going to be close. And if Brad Arthur's only going to use 3 bench players again this week, and Junior gets burnt out or Reg gets burnt out,
which they are, both of them getting burnt out,
we lose it, and we lose a close game. My defense of Brad Arthur as a coach is going to be very feeble.
Worse, we lose by 20. It's like, what if they put a score on us? Because our defense is shit. Like, it's really bad. So if all of a sudden, like, our defense is bad and we lose our attack as well, I mean, like I'm reading a lot online, and people are like, just settle down. Like, we only lost by 1 point. We've seen this before. We've seen the mid-season collapse, and we're getting in early this year. Although it was this time last year that we lost to St. George. They, ambushed us. And, there's a flow-on effect to this. So what you need to do is put your best team forward. And Jake on the bench is not the best team. Everyone accepts when Mitch is out injured, everyone welcomes Jake with open arms and says, give the kid a break. He's trying his best. He hasn't got the experience, and everyone supports him. And if he fucks up, then everyone's like, well, he was filling in. He was doing his best. And no one really gets up him. But this is wrong. He should not be on the bench. He should not.
No. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And no one, I wish I was an NRL level journalist so I could ask Brad to his face, why is your son on the bench ahead of Bryce Cartwright or Wiramu Greg or Brendan Hands if you want another hooker, or I'd even take Mitch Rain again this week to give him another go round.
You can't just drop Mitch like that, because we're going to need Mitch if Reed gets injured. So you got to keep Mitch at that certain level of confidence. And all he's done now is just throw him under the bus twice. So, why not bring him on? If you want fresh legs, we're better to have Reed there at the end of the game. Bring on Mitch Rain at halftime, play him for 20 minutes, and then bring Reed on with fresh legs to finish the game off. It makes no sense to completely realign the team with 10 minutes to go. I know that
Reed Marnie with fresh legs is a hell of a lot more dangerous than Mitch Rain, because
he's our best
he's got
player.
the speed, and then there's times he is. I think Dillbags is our best player. But I mean, in terms of getting a set started, an attacking set started, it all starts with Reed.
Yeah, so I think when I say he's our best player, I mean he's our most important player, because the delivery that he gives, he controls the game. We play so much better when he is there. He gets the ball out to Dillbags when, Dillbags is up against a slower forward or something. He can read the game better. He can see when someone's, in the clear. He knows when to pass it to Mitch. He knows when to pass it to, Sean Lane to do a hit up. Or that's why I say he's our best player. I mean, he's our most valuable player.
Yes. No, you're right. I agree. Absolutely.
So
he's the keystone of everything.
So why take him off?
As most took it.
Why take him off when we're going to win the game? I mean, and I know that he brought him back on so that he could do the field goal, but it was already, like you saw Reed, I think it was tackle 4, and he wanted to hit up by the forward, and he got the ball and he turns around. There's no one there. Like the team had already been, ruffled. It had already been, everyone was out of position. Everyone was like, what the hell's going on? We're confused. You got Reed there looking for a hit up, and then Reed had to do the hit up himself. It was like he wanted the drive forward past the Mitch, field goal, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, man. Like, and once again, I know that people will be saying, you're overreacting. We've seen this before. We're
not overreacting.
This is our year. This is our year to win the premiership. Next year, we're rebuilding again. I don't care what anyone else says. Like, we're losing too many players. We have to rebuild. This is our year. And then to have a performance like that, when everything's perfect, sold out crowd, got the old boys there. You got a team that hasn't won a game all year. You got a team that, we should be able to just run over the top of. And they, made us look silly. So
they forget to play football. They forgot to play football. They just wanted to play park footy, backyard shit.
I don't know what they were doing. They were just
pose for the cameras instead of wanting to get nitty gritty against a team that they should have well known was coming for them.
Yeah. I mean, the push against the scrum, against the feed, the short kickouts, that said everything to me. That it was just arrogant. It's like we weren't behind by 6 points with 1 minute to go. We better do a short kickoff. It was. I can't watch the game back, but I remember.
And none of them worked.
None
of them worked.
Exactly.
We gave the Tigers the ball 15, 20 meters out every time.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work once, why would you even try it again?
Exactly. I don't even know. I can't watch the game back because it's too painful. But
I'm not going to. Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I don't know where the short kickoff started. I seem to think they started in the first half for some reason. But either way, it was ridiculous. So I don't know. I don't like looking at that team. It's a good team. But what have we just been speaking about for 15 minutes? It's Jake Arthur. He's either going to come on and play halfback and everyone's going to get shuffled, or he's going to sit on the bench, not play, and our forwards get burnt out. Both of those things are bad, and nothing good is going to come from this. It's the only reason why he would be there would be if Mitch gets injured, gets a HIA and has to come off for the game, then we've got a backup halfback. That's brilliant, and he slots straight in. No one else moves. He slots straight in. Then it's great to have him in the team. But you can't play like that. You just can't play like that.
Yeah.
Like Mitch
is... why is he like, what are the odds of Mitch getting hurt?
The guy's made of rubber. In all honesty, he's made of rubber. The amount of times he gets hit and gets back up, it's very rare. Like, I know he's had his, problems with his calf. He's had his back broken and stuff, but he still played the rest of the game with a broken back. So,
look, if Mitch takes a cork or his calf plays up, Brad looks like a genius because his halfback son just happens to be sitting on the bench. Oh, what a quickie dink.
Exactly.
But the 99.99% chance that Mitch doesn't get hurt and Dillbags doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got a specialist halfback sitting there with no place to go. The same way Mitch Rain probably shouldn't be on our bench either.
Shouldn't. There's no reason for him to be on. Cartwright should be on the bench. If Cartwright's not available, now that's the other thing I did read. Someone said that Cartwright hurt his knee in the New South Wales Cup, so that might be why he hasn't been named. But he has been named at 18.
Yeah.
So he's still named.
I don't know. Oh, it's just. My bench. I always thought you have a utility, you have two props, and you have a second rower.
Yes.
I don't know why we've got two props, a utility, and a specialist halfback.
So it's better than last week when we had
a
Macca, Ryan, and Oregon. It's just three big bodies. You stick Cartwright into that, and that's a great bench.
Done.
Great.
That's a great team.
It's a great team.
One of our team. Yeah, 1 to 13, we're as good as we can be at this stage.
Yeah.
One to 16,
Yeah.
except Jake.
And once
And I
again, we
don't
go
want to
back to
hate the
what.
kid.
No, and I'm the same, but we'll go back to what we were saying before. Jake now misses another week of New South Wales Cup. So
Yep.
if Mitch does go down towards the end of the year, Jake hasn't been playing halfback at New South Wales Cup level, getting his skills up. So that when he is given the halfback jersey, he's getting stitched up because he's not going to be as good as he would have been if he had been playing all the way through. So he's doing him no. He's doing
This
him
is a lose-lose situation. It really is. Like, yeah, he's getting no game time, and then the game time he's getting, even at first grade level now, is 10 minutes in what's going to be another close game of Newcastle forwards running at him, of him trying to steer the team to victory and not wanting to make any mistakes. He's going to be under pressure. He's going to be out of sorts. He's going to panic.
Up at Marathon Stadium.
He's going to be the main reason of us dropping the ball at a crucial time.
Yeah.
And it's just going to heap more hate on him and more hate on his dad.
Yeah.
And we're just going to repeat this fucking cycle.
He's just asking for trouble, like BA, like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I was talking to Barry yesterday and he said, I think he put it well. He said, we've got the horse, but we don't have the jockey. And I don't think BA is going to get us home. And it sucks balls because I really like BA and I think he's a good coach. But these decisions he makes scare me. And like I honestly don't think any other first grade coach would be making these silly, maybe Ricky Stewart. Ricky loves to shuffle his team and he loves to blame, name names and blame individuals in a team. And he's a shit coach. I was glad he went. But how long has he been our coach? We've had it for 8 years, haven't we? So,
yeah. I mean, Madge did it out of desperation and it worked for him, but that was out of desperation.
But not only that, it was the smart thing to do for Madge because he needed a spark, and he's got Jackson, who's a great halfback. He's got Luke, who's under all sorts of pressure. I mean, he did the right thing was to just change the jerseys and then just say to Luke, I mean, they pretty much played the same way that they would have played even if they were still 6 and 7 the other way around.
Yeah.
But it was smart. He took pressure off Luke and he was just like, just go and play, And then he said to Jackson, I'm putting pressure on you because he knows he responds to pressure. That's what a coach is supposed to do. It was a strategy. It wasn't just, we're going to stick you on the wing because we'll get some fresh legs. It's just like.
Yeah. Is Mary McGregor our assistant or our?
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in the box.
I haven't heard a word out of him.
I haven't seen him interviewed. I haven't seen any footage of him at practice. Is he there? Is he behind the scenes? Because
I heard he was there.
My understanding is he was supposed to be sitting next to BA, helping him not make stupid decisions.
But he's clearly not because BA is still making stupid decisions. I don't know where Mary McGregor is. That's why I'm asking the question.
I have a theory on this.
Why is no one pulling Brad up on this?
I do have a theory about this, that they're trying to keep Mary away from it because if the shit hits the fan, they'll pull BA out and all of a sudden we got Mary McGregor driving the ship and he's had nothing to do with the shit show. And Mary can get us home to a premiership. I'd rather him take over now. I'd rather him take over, because once again, people are going to say you're overreacting to one game and a 1-point loss. No,
man,
there was so much to what happened what happened yesterday.
This whole season's been like that. Like this wasn't one game.
No.
Jake Arthur played round 1 against the Titans for no reason.
Yeah.
Jake Arthur was on our bench for no reason until he got his appendicitis. And as soon as he's healed, he's back on the bench for no reason.
Yeah. I think he did it to Bryce as well. I think he had Bryce sitting on the bench for a whole game as well and not played him. Or did he do it to Wiramu? Yeah. I don't know. But
it was Wiramu.
Yeah.
It was Wiramu.
It makes no sense at all when you've got 17 men playing to only play 16. It makes no sense. And then to say oh, I wanted fresh legs. If that's even in your psyche, you don't play 16 versus 17. I mean,
yeah. I'm trying real hard. I've been Brad Arthur's staunchest defender, supporter for years. And our final chance to lift that premiership trophy is this year. And the way it started with some of his bench rotation decisions, I don't want to admit that B-Row's right, but
I know it's looking that way. We don't have the jockey.
Yeah.
And so
we've got the cattle, we don't have the jockey.
It's dude, like it's very rare.
No one's getting through to him.
No, that's the thing.
No one seems to be able to get through to Brad. No, because no one's asking him. Yeah. I just want to know what the answer is.
Same. Ask him. How come Mick Ennis isn't getting through to him? How come, like, what's he doing? Why? How come he's not getting in and saying, why did you pull Reed off? Like Reed, I've trained Reed to be an 80-minute player.
He's sitting there on commentary watching the game, and you can sort of hear his voice like, that's not what I fucking taught him to do. That's not what I fucking told him to do this week.
Exactly.
You can hear the frustration in his voice.
They would be having conversations about closing out games. They would have been having conversations about getting your halfback into position. Probably the best example.
I watched NRL 360 tonight, and that was the first point. It's just like, oh, Jackson Hastings played great, but why can't Mitch Moses ice a game? It's like, isn't he supposed to be like the second best halfback in the comp behind Nathan Cleary?
Yeah.
Like, why can't he ice a game? Why? I thought his game was at another level. I thought he was more professional than this. Yeah. Like, that was the first question asked. And it's a legitimate point.
It is legit. But
why can't he ice a game? Why can't us as a team ice a game?
I remember seeing, and this was a painful example, but I remember seeing Queensland and them getting a field goal. And I remember watching the way Cooper Cronk directed traffic. They replayed it and they from above and highlighted the way he had it all planned out. He had the whole set, 1 forward, 2 forward, 3 forward. It's like over here, over there, pass, field goal. It was just insanely organized. And that's what you need. You need to have, okay, it's like, all right, boys, we're going for a field goal. We're 60 meters out. Okay, everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their role. Yeah. You're doing the hit up first. Forward. You're doing the hit up second. Yeah. You run there.
4 straight runs and then a field goal. It's not rocket science.
But the way that Cooper
4 straight
did it,
runs.
And the way that he utilized his players and he just organized the whole thing, I think JT kicked the conversion. I can't remember exactly, but it was all set up by Cooper Cronk. He orchestrated the entire thing. And it was a thing of beauty, even though it was a painful thing of beauty. But
for you.
For me, yes. Yeah. You quite enjoyed it, I dare say. But that's the level of professionalism you need to win a grand final. I mean, the Roosters won a grand final with Cooper Cronk barely touching the ball. He was out there organizing. Yep. He was out there. His shoulder was shot. He made a few tackles to his credit, but he barely touched the ball. He was out there just to show Luke Keary which way to run.
And he was a trainer wearing a jersey.
He was.
He was literally just
he was like running around,
coach just pointing.
But what does that tell you? How important is the number 7 jersey? I mean, Mitch could go out and do that. He can go out and orchestrate, and he can use Dillbags as the attacking weapon. He doesn't have to be the attacking weapon. He can go out and orchestrate it all.
I
need something harder than I need something harder than water, mate.
Mate, I'd like Mick or someone in the Eels camp to sit him down and show him, even an Andrew Johns, just a halfback, get him better at directing cattle.
But we had Andrew, and Andrew obviously didn't get him to that level. So I don't know. I wish we could get Cooper to teach him, but he's not going to do that. But I don't know, but he hasn't won us a game. I mean, there's been a few chances on the boot, that he's had to win us the game, and he hasn't been able to do it. Recently, even against the Sharks, I mean, he could have won us that game. I mean, there was, on the weekend. I keep saying on the weekend. It was yesterday. He had the conversion. He missed the conversion from the sideline, and then missed the field goal. And it was just like
he missed 2 conversions, which would have won us the game. But
but that's not what lost us the game. But he could have won us the game. He could have snatched it. And it's just another concern. But to win the grand final, you need conversions. You need structure on top of the flash. You need professionalism.
You need to be professional.
Because stuff happens so fast. And Clint Gutherson's a great player, but he is a dipsy doodle at the best of times. Like, he will do some crazy stuff, but that's one of his strengths. But, we need some level heads out there. And the problem is, he's not supplying. He's dude.
It's bad,
It's bad. It's a bad sign for the rest of the year. Like, we need something serious to happen for us to win this year. And I think,
it's early in the year as well, mate. And there's been close game after close game after close game. And every one of these crunch situations, we've lacked that professionalism every time.
Yeah.
And that's concerning, because then when it's not round 6, when it's a semi-final, and we're down by 2, and there's 5 minutes to go, and we need those cool heads, and they haven't been coming all year.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to change between? What's the difference between what happens just yesterday, and we're losing by 2 points against Melbourne in a sudden death semi-final? Like,
well, that's why I say maybe it was better if he had left Mitch Rain on, because Reed, something's going on with Reed. Like, he stuffed up the field goal against the Storm the week before, where he decided to spin it out to the left. I don't know what's going on with him with that, but
and he did it against the Sharks as well.
He did. He's young,
and then he showed it left against Wests, and then did a 180. And then by the time he realized he should have thrown it to Mitch, Mitch has got 3 tigers in his face.
Okay, so let's put our coaches' hats on. Let's say that our young hooker has just done what we've just witnessed over the last few weeks. Surely the first thing you do is you call up McInnes and say, I want a meeting with you. I want a meeting with Reed and Mitch Rain. You can bring on Brendan Hands as well. You can bring on the other, whoever's playing hooker at the time. We're going to watch how Cooper Cronk sets up for a field goal. We're all going to sit down and watch the replay of how he orchestrated it. And they've got great footage of it because, like I said, it was a thing of beauty, the professionalism of it. Boys, this is what we're doing all week. This is what I want you doing all week. I don't care about anything else. You guys are just setting for field goals all week. Yep. And then when we say, okay, we need a field goal to win the game, you know exactly what you're doing. I mean, isn't that the coach's job? And everyone's like, oh, it's the players. It's not the coach. Hey, if I was the coach, I'd have him out there practicing that Cooper Cronk routine all week.
I'd be having Mitch standing back there. I'd be having Reedy and Mitch, and I'd have Junior and Reg charging at Mitch.
Yeah.
And if he fucks it up, I want him smashed.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, don't fuck it up.
But the other thing is,
who else was on that pen?
The other thing.
I know who else was. Sorry, mate. You go.
You're right. Well, the other thing I was saying with the Cooper. I know I'm kind of obsessing over this, but I think the kicker, he needed him to be on the left post. So they set it up so he was on the left post so that he converted. Now, when we were watching Mitch practice field goals, he was kicking it on the right post and missing it to the right. He keeps practicing the wrong thing. Why someone isn't pulling him over to saying, okay, you're kicking from here. You kick from the left post. Set it up, practice it, drill it. It doesn't, that's what they need to be doing this week.
Yeah. All the great field goal kickers know which post they want to stand on when they're going to take a field goal.
Yeah.
Is Mitch a right-footed kicker?
He's right-footed field goal. Yep. I think he can kick with both, but he mainly kicks right.
Your right's going to naturally swing right to left. So why is he kicking from the right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
missing to the right.
It's something for the boys to practice this week. And
if you were coach, surely BA is going to be bloody grabbing him by the scruff of the neck and saying, boys, this is what we're doing. Anyway, mate, we might leave it there because I think we're going to have an aneurysm if we keep bloody going. Yeah, we go round and round, unfortunately. But
yeah,
the life of an Eels fan, my friend. It's it is fun, isn't it? Like
it's brilliant. Just when you think you're over it all, it comes back.
So we are playing the Newcastle Knights. It's at 2 p.m. at McDonald's Jones Stadium, which I still refer to as Marathon and probably still will. Sunday, 24th. So we got the Sunday mid-afternoon game. It's such a danger spot. That's such a danger game. Like, we'll come back next Tuesday, mate, and hopefully Arthur's come on and had a brilliant game somehow, and
hopefully Arthur hasn't come on and Bryce Cartwright somehow gets his bench put back.
Hopefully he pops his other appendix. How many appendix have you got? Just the one. hopefully he's got 2 appendix and he can burst his own. I don't know. See, now I'm going down a bad place of wishing harm on a young player. So I do not wish that at all. I completely take that back.
We don't hate Jake Arthur. We just hate the situation.
I love him.
He's in.
I think he's going to be a great player. I honestly think he's going to be a great player, and this is detrimental to his career. But anyway, let's move on. All right, brother. Good having a chat, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, mate. We'll do. Let's go, boys. Let's go, Para. Let's reverse our fortunes.
Let's do it. Go, Para.
Go, Para.